we're back. I will do. You know, what we should get like some fucking music. You want some music behind us? Let's just see.
Whatever you do, dude. Listen, you're running the
Yeah,
board. I'm
let's
just
do
here
it.
to give you my infinite wisdom.
How's this?
Although smooth jazz, I got.
Yeah, it's a little. All right, what else we got here?
I got to kind of figure out my. There. I don't want to. I don't like my profile. I look fat in my profile.
I wouldn't say that.
Look, my head looks like a thumb. I mean, right? My head looks like a thumb. Let me get it.
This is like really good sushi, but you know you're gonna get a hand job somewhere. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
We can go. I think we liked lo-fi last time.
My son loves lo-fi.
I don't even know what lo-fi is. Like,
what's a genre of music, man? It's just like a
okay,
like an emo EDM kind of thing.
Okay,
and he loves
that's the rumor. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like. I like what I like. You know, that's what have found. You know,
and it's
like
not
you know
bad,
when people.
Man.
You know when people go like, you know what, you should really, if you like this, you should listen to that, and then they like sit there with their phone and they're like having you listen to the song, and you're like, this sucks.
So you've met my brother-in-law, then? No, I mean because that is him to a T.
Really? Or you know when someone has like a funny video and they're like, you got to watch this. This is hilarious.
You got to watch this, and I'm like, dude, I've seen it already. First of all,
I've done it.
You've posted it on your Facebook page. I've seen it there, but yeah, just watch. Or you know, a buddy of mine here. Let's call him. I'm like, dude, I want to fucking call him. You know?
Yeah. Oh, what's worse is like when someone goes, you remind me of Fred.
Let's call Fred.
Yeah, and then they get you guys together. Like you guys are gonna hit it off, like and be the best friends ever. And
look at him. Doesn't he look like you, Fred? Doesn't he look like you?
And then you meet Fred, and you're like, "This guy sucks." If you think I'm that guy, I gotta like change what the fuck's going on over here.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not good at that. I'm not good at it. Yeah, I like what I like.
Dude, I'm on board with that because you know don't do me this disservice, right? Don't be on the phone with like your buddy from New York or whatever.
Sure.
You know, just in general. I'm not talking specifics. I'm just saying like don't be on the phone with somebody and they say, "How's Jay?" And then, let me give him the phone. I want the fucking phone. If I wanted the phone, I would pick the phone up and call dude or person.
I do like to, when my friends' wives are calling, I do like to pretend I'm them for like a good 2 hours. Like
wait, say it again.
Like me and my friend Miles were at the bar yesterday, and his wife was getting out of work, so she calls, and I just pick up the phone, and it takes her like maybe 15 seconds to realize that she's not talking to her husband, you know? And I love that. I love it. You know? Other than that, I don't want to, like, very rarely has someone, like, given me music to listen to where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put that on the old playlist.
Yeah. Right.
A handful of times. Kyle played me the Alabama Shakes. Great band. Sorry, Goose played me that before he died. And Miles has given me a few like kind of like.
Can you open up the screen a little bit? I feel like I'm jammed in here. So
here we go.
I'm trying to like.
I can get rid of chat because no one's chatting with us right now. How about that? Yay!
No, chat goes over here anyway, right? Oh.
I don't know. Well, if we want overlay, I don't know. Who gives a shit? So you can see the chat no matter what, right?
Yeah, I just can't reply to anything.
Okay. Hi, guys. I post to some channels. Okay, guys. Okay, cool. So we can post to Oh, we can only post to YouTube and okay. So let's hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
If you
Hold
have to pull me down, I mean, do what you do.
No, we're good. We're good. I'll just say that. Hi. There we go. So we can post as our podcast. I can post as me, but we can't hit all channels. Oh, I can't do that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Oh, testes. Hey, Phil. So, anyways, Phildo. I think I've met Phil. Here's the problem: when I'm in Buffalo, I'm always in the middle of a legit blackout, like a legit. Like I don't know who I am.
Yeah. No, Phil's good, dude. If you met Phil, you would remember Phil. If you saw him again, even in the middle of a blackout, you would.
Oh, I can show it. Look at that. See how it popped up over me?
Yeah, wow. That's pretty cool.
I'm just learning. We're just learning.
You would, yeah, man. Listen, you would remember Phil. Phil's good people.
I don't know if I know him. Oh. Oh well. Yeah. So we're just
next topic. Right?
Shooting the shit. I don't have a topic. What topic do you want? Hey, what's the hardest you've ever been hitting the nuts?
Oh.
Because I was thinking about this when my dick was like coming out of my fucking today. I'm like, I wonder how what's the hardest Jay's ever been hitting the nuts?
4th grade Miss Shefferstein's class by Ronnie Hassenauer. Whatever.
Yeah. So what happened?
It was. I can tell you exactly what we were doing. It was the day of the Challenger. Exploded.
Oh yeah, exploded. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was 86.
I guess 85. Yeah, somewhere in there. Anyway, because listen, I went to 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 7th, 8th, 8th. So.
Yeah. Hold on. So you failed?
Oh yeah. I mean, I failed
Nice.
Mr. Karzak, and then I passed Miss Shefferstein, but it was in Miss Shefferstein's class. Ronnie Hassenauer kicked me so hard in the balls, I threw up.
Yeah, I was gonna see. I it's hard to meet someone that's actually thrown up from getting hit in the dick.
So, and I remember it to this day because my boys will be like hitting each other in the wieners and stuff. Listen, we hit each other like. Boys are stupid, right? Boys are the dumbest.
I mean, Big Jose back in the day would just haul off and hit nuts.
Yeah. But it was, I remember it. And my cock has not grown much bigger from 4th grade till 45 years old. So it's not been a good experience. Maybe it stunted maybe it broke a growth plate down there. That's how bad.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, this might be like insider trading here, but remember when you were over at my house?
Insider trading.
You were at my house, and we built stadium seating for the Super Bowl. Remember that?
I do remember. Yeah.
And we were all hammered, and it was the time when Janet Jackson's nipple came out of her fucking shirt.
And I actually called.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're trying to sue for pain and damages or some shit.
And the lady was like, yeah, we've gotten so many calls.
Join the club, bitch. So I remember you got down off of the fucking, because I had stadium seating built. I had couches and whatever. It was
I remember.
It was pretty legit.
It was pretty legit. Yep.
And you went to the bathroom, but you whipped your dick out and were hammering it down in the hallway. And I was like, that is a massive dick.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I swear to God. Maybe it's just you have a bad profile, but your dick's profile is mwah,
Well, you haven't seen it lately.
I'm is that David Schwimmer from Friends? That profile is delicious.
No. I appreciate that, but no. You know what I do also remember about that house? Your house there.
Sure.
3 things very specifically.
Please say New Year's.
Of course.
We'll have to say allegedly a lot, but yeah, go ahead.
Starting Tim on fire.
Yes.
I
can find that.
So he wanted to he wanted me to dump a little bit of cologne on him and start it, but of course, I take things a little bit too far sometimes.
Sure. We've all been there.
Secondly, I remember the Forrest Griffin.
Yeah.
That fight, the Ultimate Fighter 1.
Yeah.
Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner fight at your house.
Yeah.
I remember that like it was yesterday. And I also remember New Year's. You're in a booger.
New Year's was a whole other level. I can't find it on YouTube anymore. Maybe it got taken down.
And probably. We started a man on fire.
He sets himself on fire. Oh, fuck. YouTube. It wouldn't show up in the YouTube searches. So I'm trying to go a different way. God, what were we called? Show sets. Anyways, yeah, we used to have like way too many people over at our house. Like way too many people.
It was always a fire hazard.
Yes. And then to get whittled down to, like 9 people. And those 9 people were legit hammered at all times.
And those 9 people were always the problem children.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm trying to... I can't find it. Because there's like a Kanye West song with sets himself on fire. I don't know. It's just...
Tim set himself on fire.
With British Sterling cologne. Who the fuck in our house had British Sterling?
I don't remember, but Tim was like, just stir it a little bit of fire. And I just fucking dumped it. And he's like, all right. And I fucking lit it. And it's like...
Yeah. He literally exploded with fire. And then he tried to like... anyone that's on fire does this. Eee. And then they realize that the fire doesn't give a fuck about eee. And then he starts to panic.
My favorite was when he dove... Instead of like running out into like
dove into a couch.
He dove into the couch that was flammable. God, he's on fire. Man, oh man. There's been... do you remember the time? Do you remember the time that you jumped out of your top window at your... try to jump into the tree?
Yeah.
And then just
I broke my wrist.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well... we got to take you to the hospital. I'm like, I don't have insurance, so that's not going to happen. And they're like, well, let's just tape it up with duct tape. Cause that's what you do.
Yeah.
So it's under 4 minutes for sure. I'm just setting filters here. This year, no. Location, upload date. I want oldest. Dude, there's like fucking... now it's like fucking Minecraft. We uploaded this in like 2000, what? 6? Maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
God damn it. That was so funny. And it's just... it's got to be somewhere on YouTube. It's got to be.
It's out there. Let's find it maybe for next week. Let's
look
around a little bit and try to find it for next week.
You know me, I'm like fucking ADD, so I like I'll just do this thing. I was in we flew into Miami, and then we drove from Miami to Key West right after like about, this is a while ago, but it was like about 8 months after like that big ass hurricane came through and fucked everything up, right? So we get to this like the big one where like refrigerators and shit were piled up on both sides of the road.
Oh,
It was bad.
Yeah.
So we get to this place and it's like, yes. And it's just like the only bar that's open between fucking Miami and like when you get into other keys, it kind of weren't hit as bad, but like somewhere. But like we get this place you could feed like Terrapin with like your mouth and shit, and it was great. But
it was oh shit, I know exactly where you're at. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Every once in a while, like a manatee will just like show up. But so we stopped there, and they have one of those games where it's like the fucking ring with the hook and the string.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you guys, and it was broken from the hurricane, and I still couldn't stop playing it until I got it. Like to the point where my wife, my friend Goose, and his wife, Miss Goose, Mother Goose,
They're good.
they were so annoyed that I had to ring one. I had to ring it, and I give up looking. It was like that, but that's how crazy I am. I'm a crazy guy. Crazy guy. I like to do things a certain way. I wouldn't say I'm ADD. I would say like RET.
Obsessive compulsive.
ADD. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. A little bit. Like if it's got to be this way, or else go fuck your mother.
Yep. I would say
you're Phil.
obsessive.
I'm going to show that on screen. I'm going to show it on screen, Phil. Here you go. Boom. Wait. Boom. Shit. This one. Fuck. Boom. Fuck. I can't. There we go. Yeah. So so my mom was friends with a lady of African American descent, and she had two boys. And we went over to their house and started hanging out, and they had a computer, and they had the first ever Mario Brothers game. Not like Mario Brothers, like with like Duck Hunt, not that one, but like the Smash Brothers game where you kind of like bump into each other and fucking do all that shit, you know? And that was amazing to me. So I spent the whole weekend hanging out with them. It was great. And then they came over to our house, and this kid hit me in the balls with a shovel. And I started throwing up bile. Like, he hit me so hard in the balls.
In the balls. Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, I think, like, he just, we were wrestling, and he took it to, like, 90. Like, he just.
Like, I could feel that. Ugh.
Yeah, and that ball shot, where you get hit and you're like, it's bile and dry heaves. Like, come on. Really? Really? We're going to hit in the balls right now?
That's the worst.
It's because I was winning, you know? It was such a LeBron move.
Not a Jordan move.
Jordan
would never hit that in the balls.
I love how people are like, let's compare. Give me your top 5. And it's fucking Jordan and then LeBron? No. And not even because Kobe died. I would put Kobe, like, as far as like killers on your team. Because if you want to go to the best ever, like George Mikan was fucking he killed everyone because he was 7-1 in 1945.
Jordan is the greatest of all time. Killers on your team, I'd probably do Kobe.
So if you're starting a team, let's say you have the entire NBA roster, current to past, but their skill set transfers over based on, just based on skill set at the time. So like Wilt Chamberlain now probably wouldn't even be an all-star.
No, because Shaq would kill him. Shaq would kill him right now.
Yeah. So if you go like your top 5 most dominant and give me the position, and I'll tell you if I agree or not. And if Sleepy Floyd is not in it, end in this episode, because Sleepy Floyd or Nervous Purvis Ellison.
What about Uwe Anshama?
Yeah, I love Buddhists. It's great.
Jordan clearly.
So he's your shooting guard.
Probably my point. He would probably be my point. No, he'd be my shooting because my point would have to be Magic, right?
That was going to be my pick. Good call. I agree. I concur. Small
my
forward.
Center.
Oh, center. Good.
Probably Shaq.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are all in their prime, right? I mean, we're talking in their prime.
Yeah.
Because
the best day that they ever played basketball.
There's nobody touching Shaq in his prime. Down low. I mean, the guys. I mean, fuck. So what I have? Power forward, probably Mailman.
Yeah, power and small.
Probably Karl Malone. Yeah. And then Let me see.
This is tough because if you want to hit like clutch shooters, could you throw Reggie Miller in the small forward? You could, because the dude was like 6'9".
Of course I could. I'm thinking Bird, maybe even Havlicek.
Bird in his prime. I would,
Bird, man.
I would roll with that for sure.
Bird.
It's great when you hear like old black guys talk about Bird and be like, he was just the biggest cock ever.
and he had the biggest dick ever because he just didn't care. Right?
Yeah.
He was like a boy from Indiana, didn't give a fuck. Right. So if you're supposed to be from Indiana, you're not really at that time of his game. He is not culturally diverse. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. And he went out there and just fucking laid it on the line. And basically,
you're gonna have this white dude guard me?
Exactly. You're gonna have this black dude guard me. I ain't scared of him.
Yeah. He would talk shit and he'd be like, I'm gonna go left here. And then I'm going to hit a bank shot.
See the hand?
Yeah, in your face. You know, Larry Bird's dad shot himself in the head in front of Larry Bird. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I was obsessed with this girl in high school. Obsessed with her. She's still she's prettier now than she was in high school, which is, she's obviously a vampire. But obviously. She was a Larry Bird fan, so she gave me Larry Bird's autobiography, and I read it because I wanted to be able to talk to her, you know, because I'm like that. I'm sensitive.
Yeah.
Like 4 pages in, you're like, yeah, his dad just shoots himself in the face. You know who else did that? Johnny Resnick's dad. Same thing.
Who's Johnny Resnick?
Goo Goo Dolls singer.
Yeah. Killed himself.
Yeah, right in front of the kid. That's like a big dick move. Like,
right, exactly. If I'm going to kill myself, it's not going to be in front of anybody, whether it be fucking adult, kid, nobody. I'm going in the fucking woods, and I'm just doing it. You know.
Yeah, I thought about like, how far can you swim before you can't swim anymore? Like that'd be the way I'd go.
No, dude.
Yeah,
no.
I'd go out like
horrible.
Is it really? Everyone says it's the best way to go.
No,
really,
it's gotta be horrible. You gotta. I mean, you're not. So your body has a fight or flight, dude. Right? So you start sinking, and you know what I mean. You're gonna start like wanting to overcome that, like I'm drowning feeling. Right? You're starting to take water on, and it's like,
I guess, but after that, it's just like you're just floating, baby. Maybe a blue whale comes up, you just fucking hop on the blue whale, just take a little ride. You know, dolphin comes up, it's humping your leg, and you're like, I'm in fucking paradise right now.
I think that I'm a coward, man. I would probably do
the old Kurt Cobain, get your wife to kill you. I said what I said, Courtney Love. I said what I said.
Hang on.
Yeah. What?
I got some noise in my headphones.
Oh.
It's just making weird noise.
I got this music going.
No. It's not that. It's actually nice. That music's nice.
Oh, okay.
No, I would just take pills, man. I would just take 100 pills and be done with it.
So back in the day, I was liberally taking painkillers, and I wasn't even in pain. They were just really fun. And I kept going to the doctor. I'm like, I can't sleep. He's like, well, the same doctor that was giving me Oxycontin was like, well, I'll give you Lunesta. So this one day, Tim, I would get home before Tim. So we're living together. We're in North Carolina. And so I'm already like 4 or 5 Oxycontin deep, to the point where getting up, like standing up off the couch is kind of rough. And like figuring out how to walk is kind of rough because I'm not a big painkiller guy. I know some people could take 1,000 painkillers and like operate, but I'd take 5 or so, have a hamburger, and you know, it's going to be scene's end for the old guy. But then I'm like going to sleep. I'd feel so comfortable that I thought, oh fuck, I'm going to die. Like you're so soft and angelic in your mattress where you're like, I know that I'm going to forget to make my heart beat. So I can't go to sleep. And I'd have these like weird fucking things where I'd be asleep, wake up like this. So I take a half Lunesta, half of it, and we're watching some fucking show, and I'm on the floor. Tim's on the couch, and I think Kyle was over at the same time, Goose. And I think we might have
flew over.
Yeah, we might have been having like vodka Red Bulls too at the same time. I don't know. Because I think subconsciously I was totally fine with killing myself. I think. I'm not sure because I haven't asked myself this, but so I break off a little half Lunesta, take it, and I wake up in the morning and I'm covered in sweat, not piss, but sweat.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And when Tim comes downstairs, I'm like, how come you didn't wake me up? He's like, dude, we were shaking you. We were slapping you in the face. You just wouldn't wake up. And then my second question was, why didn't you call the paramedics? Because obviously I OD'd. Obviously. Like you know I'm taking this. And then I didn't tell him I was taking something else, but like I was unresponsive. I was like legit.
Well, I mean, maybe you just were, you know, did he know did he know you're taking the Lunesta? Because that, you know,
that's like the Heath Ledger death, you know. That's what killed Heath Ledger. He was taking painkillers. Yeah, and then he was taking sleeping pills. But but boy, did I wake up and I felt refreshed. So if you ever need a good night's sleep, OxyContin, Lunesta, a little bit of vodka.
Oxys and a half a Lunesta. Awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, right as rain. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying. I
was listening to Stern the other day, and they were talking about good sleep and whatnot, but they were also talking about doing colonoscopies and, you know, getting good sleep at that.
Nothing gets me to bed like a good old colonoscopy.
Well, no, they were talking about being given the propofol.
Yeah. That's the Michael Jackson stuff, right?
Yeah. And they were saying, like, I can see how he overdosed on it because it, like, puts you right to sleep and you get the best sleep of your night of your life. So when you're just over that point, you just, you know, that little bit's not going to do it anymore. And you keep going higher and higher and higher. And, you know, at that point, you're half a bottle in and, you know, Conrad Murray's just firing another spike in your arm. Whatever.
Yeah, I really wonder about you know, I mean, sleep's important. That's what they say, right?
It definitely is important. Definitely,
I get maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, maybe.
Same. Yeah,
and it's not that I don't want to. Like right now, it's 10:30. I've had enough to where I could sink into a mattress and probably fall asleep. But then at 2:30, I'll wake up like this. I'll be ready to roll. I don't know why. I had one cup of coffee today. It's just the way I am. Just the way I am.
It's your anxiety.
I was born this way, baby.
Dude.
I'm like your
anxiety.
I'm a crazy person. I get it.
You're not crazy, dude. There's nothing crazy about you. It's just your anxiety.
Have you seen my balls? Have you seen my balls? That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they're crazy.
If I pinch my balls really tight, it's actually, the veins are a complete map of Haiti. I have no idea why.
I hate everything about you.
I have no idea why. I've never been to Haiti. My balls have never been to Haiti.
How do you
And that's just what it is.
How do you know your balls have never been to Haiti?
Oh, I checked their passport. I did. There's nothing.
What do you think
There's
of this,
nothing on the books.
What do you think of this Dave Portnoy bullshit?
I love that finally a celebrity is actually fighting back instead of just listening to lawyers
and hush money in it.
Yeah. I mean, anyone that's ever been in trouble and has retained counsel will tell you that they say, well, just don't say a fucking thing. And that's great. And sure. But it's happened to a lot of people. It's happened to Chris D'Elia, who's a great comic. It's happened to Brian Callen, who's a great comic. It's happened to Louis C.K., which is kind of a strange thing because he asked permission. They said no, and so he didn't do it. And then they said yes, and then he did do it. So they gave him permission to do it, and then he still got canceled for it, which makes no sense to me. But, you know, it's going to get to the point where if you meet a girl, and thank God we're past all this shit, but if a single guy meets a girl, he's going to have you're going to have like Stein, Lowenstein, and Stein roll out of a closet and have you sign and fucking duplicate and fucking give a video testimonial before anything happens. And then even after that, you can say, well, I felt pressured into signing it. And you know, you never want to see a woman objectified. You never want to see a woman you're taken advantage of. But if you spend the night with a guy and then take selfies with him and then 3 weeks later sue him or try to bring him up on charges for like assault, not rape, but assault, that's a little fucked up to me, you know? And I kind of wish that we could find the middle ground and say, okay, what's the playing field? Because, you know, Portnoy's his own guy, and you know, he's not single anymore, but he's dating a fucking legit smoke show, as he should be. But you know, I kind of feel bad for these guys. Like these guys that get like Instagram or fucking YouTube famous, and they meet a girl at a bar, and the girl goes home with them. They have sex, and then like 3 weeks later, the cops show up, and you're like, "What the fuck?" That happened to Jake Paul, I believe, as well.
Well, Jake Paul's a douche canoe.
He is, but level. Is he a rapist?
No.
Who knows?
No, I agree with that. My problem with the whole Portnoy thing, and he didn't. It's not illegal that he does this. That he likes 19-year-old girls. It's not illegal.
No,
right? He's 43 years old. Should he? You know, I mean, do what you want, bro. As long as it's legal, I don't give a fuck.
Dude, Edward, right? So there's a King Edward's Bible.
Hang on
right?
a second. Let me finish. Because
just remind me, King Edward's.
Because he literally gets mixed up into that whole young, drama-filled,
like the fuckboy club
pool,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm dating, or I fuck Portnoy, and who's Barstool, and so
that's the thing. You're fishing in a shitty pond, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, King Philip.
King Edward. So there's a King Edward Bible, right, that people follow, right?
Yes,
we talked about religion a little bit before, right? King Edward.
King
that
Edward.
Dude rewrote the Bible, fucked his mom, and also is a pedophile. And that's the Bible that people follow. Google it. Give it a Googs.
Dude,
but
I believe you.
But like that shit's like documented history, and then everything else like that happens to these guys is like all conjecture, and then these guys are the worst people on the fucking planet.
Right.
It's crazy. So
I'm very appreciative that he stood there in front of the camera the other day and was like, listen,
it was
did
hard
I
to
do
watch,
this?
man, because I really do like him.
He was like, "Yep, did I do this? I sure did." Well, yesterday he did a press conference to basically smash it, like basically bury it all. So check it out. Go on.
I will.
His Twitter account and just check it out.
Is
because
it Twitter Blue or
not Twitter Blue? I don't even know what that is, but
well, it's exclusive, so it's not a big deal.
Sorry, Mr. Exclusive. But no, he literally at 2:00 yesterday went on just Barstool Instagram and just said, "This is bullshit," and laid it all out. So
yeah,
it was good to see, man. It really was. It was good. And listen, like you said, I don't want any woman to be objectified or be raped or to be sexually assaulted or anything like that.
Right.
That's not where I'm at, man. But you're gonna fuck her. But I believe in this dude, man. I believe this dude has literally been drug over the coals. So
what's great is that, he's seeing that other people are coming out saying, no, they contacted me. They tried to get me to do this. They like this. And then they put the shit behind a paywall. So at what point is it just a money grab? Like, you don't care about women. You don't like, I love how white knighty everybody in society is about a cause, but they still want to get paid for it. Like, yep. Celebrities will come out of the paint and talk about fucking climate change and it's this or whatever. Celebrities come and they're singing Imagine during fucking COVID and shit like that, but they're getting paid to do it.
Yep.
These are the people we choose to follow. I love Portnoy is, you look at like Elon Musk, you look at Zuckerberg, those guys had unique skills that changed the way the society works.
Change the world. Let's say
change the world. Yeah. Portnoy is the everyman. Portnoy reminds me more of Owen in his fucking junior year than anyone I've ever met. Like Owen and Portnoy are literally the same person, except, one of them just went and created a blog. Like literally. Do you see any like resemblance at all?
I'm trying to remember Owen.
Just the way he used to talk shit. He was a shit talker.
Oh, big time.
Big time.
Big.
One of the best. But like, just yeah. I mean,
just truth. That's a great resemblance. That's a great analysis.
And they have the same accent because they're kind of from the same area. They
are from the same area. Actually.
Yeah. So every time I see Portnoy, I think I'm looking at like a guy that I hung out with forever. And
1993 Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
1999 is
1999 Owen Wilson.
That's 99 Owen all day.
Yep.
But I feel bad for these guys. I feel bad for professional athletes too. Like in some regard, they go out to a club, and there's apps now that says that you can tag the person that's at the club, and then you can send an alert out, and all these bitches just roll into the club and try to get with this guy. Now, is it great? Do you feel like fucking Vinny Chase fucking before Aquaman comes out or right after Aquaman comes out? Great, that's great, but you're never meeting anyone of substance either. And that's the goal, right?
So I was in, when I was up in Buffalo, I was doing security at Miss Kitty's. It was a gay and lesbian bar downtown Buffalo. I was doing it around the time that Marshawn Lynch was not around the time, he was in Buffalo. Yeah. And actually the time he was suspended for the gun charge. Do you remember that when he got suspended? So he came into the restaurant, the bar at that point with his entourage, and they rolled in 12, 15 deep, and he literally throws about 10 $100 bills on the bar and just says, "Take care of my boys," whatever. And so I'm sitting over in the corner, just doing my job, whatever, and I see him, and the ladies are coming around him and whatever. And this woman was with one of her friends, and I'll never forget this as long as I live, because I actually, every time I see him on Twitter or whoever even talks about him, I always say like I basically bash him, because Chris, I've never seen I've seen some inappropriate things in my day, like he kissed her on the lips when she didn't want to, or touched her boob, or whatever it may be. But this dude sexually assaulted this broad in the bar and basically was fighting off. She was fighting him off, and the owner of that bar was like, "Just leave him alone. He's, it's Marshawn Lynch." I'm like, he's a fucking scumbag, man.
Right.
He's a fucking scumbag. Like, hands on, almost down her pants. And I was like, dude, chill the fuck out. And she was, no, don't, just leave him alone. Don't say anything. It's
That's gross.
So yeah, man, he's a piece of shit. Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
And every chance I get, every time I see him, every time somebody tags him, I'm always like, yeah, but I saw him sexually assault a broad in the bar in Buffalo, New York, during his gun charge, just to bring out all of the most scumbaggiest things.
Well,
that
then
could
hit a
happen
girl
with
with a car.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Right?
Yeah.
Jesus, I forgot about that.
Well, and we're gonna say allegedly to all that. Allegedly.
No, fuck that. Not allegedly. I witnessed that with my own two fucking eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy too. Like you see these guys that they're coming up and they never hear a no. Like they never hear a no.
That's exactly right.
They get whatever they want. They go to the college. They get whatever they want. They get recruited with whatever they want, and then it's kind of weird too. Then you expect them to act like normal fucking people in actual society.
How about John Jones? Right? I mean, John Jones.
That's your boy.
Totally my boy. I fucking, he was so good to me and my family, and he, was just a gem of a person. But I mean, the dude's never been told no. He always surrounds himself with, or has always surrounded himself with yes men. His fucking, his agent, Melky Kawa, his fucking trainers, fucking the Winklejack or the Winkle, the Jackson Winklejohn gym. I mean, just always yes people. The kid's 23 years old and just got millions of dollars in his lap.
And he's told he's a chosen one. He never loses.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
They let him go down this shitty path. And that's true with artists too. I mean, if people actually cared about artists like Kurt Cobain, they could have pulled them aside. They could have helped them. But the money train keeps on going. And the people that are benefiting from that train rolling, they don't give a fuck about you. You're the next thing. And then when you flame out, or when you blow your fucking brains out, or when your wife kills you, which allegedly is probably what I believe.
It's so more. I would love to talk with you about that on another time, because I'm totally starting to believe in that theory as well.
Have you seen the documentary Soaked in Bleach?
No.
It's great. It's on Netflix, I believe.
Netflix?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think I saw it.
It's good.
I listen to Stern pretty religiously, and he had Billy Corgan on, and Billy Corgan was kind of seeing Courtney Love at the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not going to get into it, but there were some things going on. And he doesn't say anything, but he doesn't.
Corgan was on Rogan and did the same thing. He kind of skirted around it. Like there was some Nirvana.
He doesn't exonerate her.
Yeah,
he sure doesn't exonerate her.
So if you look at Hole's first two albums, the first one was written by Kurt Cobain. The second one obviously was written by Billy Corgan, and she was with Kurt Cobain the entire time. Yep. Go look at the musical styles. Go look at the way that they put their chords together. Go look at the way that they rhyme, and you can see Nirvana and the Beatles are very simple music makers.
Mm-hmm.
Smashing Pumpkins is a little bit more complex. So her first album is exactly Nirvana. Like probably shit Kurt was writing and going, it doesn't fit. When I wake up in my makeup, that's not going to work for me, or whatever. Doll Parts. You tell me that Doll Parts wasn't written by Kurt Cobain, and I will probably cut your fucking head off.
Right, exactly.
So, and then you go listen to.
Well, she claims that it wasn't. I mean, come on.
Right. But yeah, and then when he wanted to. So the rumor was he wanted to quit the big box music industry, and just kind of go do more like acoustic type shit. But he also wanted to quit her. He was kind of
they were kind of separating, and then she got pregnant, and then she had what's her name? Frances Bean,
It's but again, like, I heard something the other day about John Lennon, about the guy that did his autopsy, and he was basically saying like he's 40, but he has the body of like a 65-year-old. Like he did too much heroin, he did too much acid, he did too much coke. He was wearing down anyways. Like the people that we think that because they died young, they might not have lived until today, you know?
Sure.
You know, Nirvana was just put, I believe, in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or maybe, recently. And, you know, they're like, oh, well, Kurt should be here. It's like, the dude was kind of reckless, man.
He was 27 when he blew his fucking head off.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
allegedly.
So we're looking at 60 years old now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's kind of, it's a shame, but like, you know, really good artists should be fucking crazy. You know, most of them are.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, John Lennon, his mom was like this, like floozy. The dad was like a merchant marine. The dad goes and takes him on vacation when he's 5, and tries to kidnap him. Mom finds out. Mom makes him choose. He chooses his dad. And then as the mom's walking away, John Lennon follows her down the driveway and wants to be with her. She takes him home from 5 till, I believe, 14. She's in and out of his life. Yeah, she's in and out of his life. He's living with his aunt, her sister, the mom's sister.
Right across the street from Strawberry Fields.
Yeah. She's teaching him. The mom taught him the banjo. The dad never shows up. And him and his mom finally get this bond together, and then she gets killed by a drunk driving police officer.
Yep.
And then this guy that has some musical talent, he's an artist, he just goes on this tangent. He doesn't act the way that other people should act. And all of a sudden, you go from being just a regular guy that could have probably fallen the lines, a guy that could play guitar, a guy that could play the banjo, guy that liked music, to this fucking renegade lunatic that doesn't give a fuck about anything, and that's what made him famous. Like I honestly think that if his mom didn't die, he would have just fell in line, kind of, and probably not have been John Lennon that we know. I really do think that. I really do.
I also feel like when he met Paul McCartney, right?
Yeah,
they met at that little.
Yeah, a little like a fate, like a lawn fate type thing. Like, and John Lennon was in the Quarrymen, and Paul McCartney was just kind of like there, I guess.
Just, playing and doing his thing.
Like
I think that had a very profound.
This is how shitty of a musician he was, though. He liked Paul McCartney because Paul McCartney knew how to tune a guitar by ear.
Yeah.
Like that's all it takes. Yeah. And then George was younger than them. George is drawing guitars and drawing chords on paper that they didn't know, and they're older, and they're like, well, we need to get him in the band. Obviously he knows fucking chords. You know, it was just, you think like some of these things are planned, and then some things are like clandestine, I believe, or just like, just you. One of the craziest stories I've ever heard about like how things just sometimes fit. This guy I know, I grew up with him, and always a smart kid. Never really was into like in 5th grade I had crushes. He didn't have crushes that he ever talked about, but me and him were best friends.
He had a crush on you.
Well, probably. But we got back in touch after his brother died. So I went to his house when they were having like a memorial for his brother, and I hadn't been there in years. So we kind of like lost touch around 6th grade, and now here it is, maybe fucking 8 years, 9 years after that, that we lost touch. So I see this thing in the newspaper. It's a whole big thing in the Buffalo News about how this kid died, and he was kind of famous-ish, and my heart just fucking broke for my friend, because I was friends with the kid that died, but I was more friends with his brother, because we were in the same class. I can remember the day that his brother gave me his phone number. We were in class, and he like motioned it out in class, and I remember writing it down and putting it in my pocket. And it was the first person I ever called the telephone, you know. So I'd been in this house 1,000 times, and you know, there's no parking in the driveway, and because the whole street's, you know, with no street lights, it's just lined with cars and shit like that. So I walked on this path, and you know, there's a fire going, and his dad's there, and his dad's crying in front of the fire. It was terrible. And I walk in the house, and same kind of door that fucking creaked like it always did, and it would always be our muddy shoes there, because they were like the muddy shoe parents. You know, they didn't give a fuck. You know, just like go swim in the pond, go off a rope 3,000 feet high and fucking drop into snapping turtle ponds. We don't give a fuck. Like, just live your life. You know. We'd always start a fire on this cannonball, and at the end of the night, we'd push the cannonball down this fucking thing into the pond, and like the steam would go everywhere. It was awesome. And then I walk in, I see my fucking friend. I hadn't seen him. You know, I hadn't seen him. I think he came to my graduation party in high school, so I hadn't seen him from 6th grade till about 12th grade, and then it's been about 6 years since then or so. And there he is, and we sit down at the table, and I said, "I'm sorry about your brother," and stuff like that, and sitting next to him is this beautiful girl, and she's like, I thought she was like Mexican or something, you know? And so he tells me he goes to, I'm like, how'd you guys meet? And he's like, well, I wanted to study abroad. So he goes to Chile, and he has this opportunity to go and study abroad in Chile. So just like him, he goes, I'm going to go a couple weeks early. So he flies in early, meets the host family he's going to stay with, and he practices the route. He gets up early. He rides his bike to the thing, parks his bike, and kind of gets the whole feel of the town and shit like that. Because Chile's, you know, huge political unrest at the time, unemployment's going through the roof, but you know, if you go to university, you're kind of protected. So the day of his first class, he wakes up late. Now, 2 weeks of practicing, he did not wake up late. He wakes up late the day that he's not supposed to wake up late. Bikes his ass to the thing, goes around the corridor, locks his bike the same way he always has, walks around the corner, bumps into a girl. And instead of saying, excuse me, he accidentally says coffee. And she says yes. So he takes her to coffee. He doesn't go to class because she's beautiful. And they got married.
Fate, brother.
Yeah.
That's fate.
That's one of the coolest stories I've ever heard in my life. And I'm hearing it at a table surrounded by people that I haven't seen in years, about a kid that died, and that literally kind of segmented, or like it kind of, not segmented, it kind of like formatted my belief that there are weird paths that you take in your life where you're like, this isn't even up to you, man. That's,
yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's God or whatever, but like, you're going to wake up late today of all fucking days. So the person's going to cut you off, and you're going to be a little bit late, and you're going to miss that train that fucking doesn't, you know.
How about the people in 9/11, man? I mean, How about the guy that missed his flight? How about the dude that, you know, missed the train down to the World Trade Center? How about it's just like that Ashton Kutcher movie, that Butterfly Effect movie or whatever it is. Right.
The Kutch.
But I mean, it's just, you know, it's a silly movie and a silly concept, but it's not, man. Yeah. You know, you make that one decision, you make that, you know, for instance, Melissa and I, when we lived up in Trumansburg, we just moved in, and you're coming down the hill, and I say to her, we stop at the stop sign, and I say, hey, do you want to go to this pizza place on the left or this pizza place on the right? And we both looked kind of this way and went to the one on the left, and they become some of our very best friends in all the world. I mean, they're living down here, and you know, it is what it is, man. It's like, are you predestined to do something like that, or is it just fate? I mean, it's kind of a weird, you know, it's kind of a weird phenomenon, you know, and I'm sorry for your friend, but you know, I mean, think about it, you know, that one person that, you know, 5 more minutes left the house 5 more minutes later than they usually do, and they get in an accident at the cross street up the road. You know, it's like,
it's kind of nuts how things like that work too. And it kind of like that moment, meeting, you know, seeing him again and hearing the story, but more importantly, like his brother that died, his name was Aaron Shoemaker, was like the kid that you hope you don't have as a parent with boys. That kid was like running on 99% all the fucking time.
Shot out of a cannon everywhere he goes.
Dude,
right?
he would jump off of buildings with an umbrella when we were like 6. You know, it was just, you know, we would all wrestle, and they were a little bit smaller than me. And I would be throwing them around, and this kid just wouldn't quit. There's some kids where you, like my buddy Ortez, his one of his kids, every time I talk to him, I'm like, you know, that kid he can be a professional athlete. And he's like, yeah, I just don't know how to keep his head in check. That's his only problem, is keeping his son's head in check.
That's my youngest, dude.
Yeah.
You know, last night we're just hanging out here at the house, and he's literally doing, so it's, you know, we're watching the football game. It's after halftime. So whatever time that was, 9:00, he's doing push-ups and sit-ups in the house. And Melissa and I just look at each other, and it's like, you know, I mean, he's not doing anything wrong, but he's wound tighter and does, you know, like he's doing work at 9, man. I mean, he's doing push-ups, man. You know, I mean, you know,
it's a weird thing. Like as a guy that, you know, I love all my friends, but like to see one of my buddies, he's in my kitchen. He's like, yeah, I just don't know how to keep the kid's head in check because he knows he's better than everybody. That sucks, you know, because there's probably so many people that maybe didn't have a dad that is that attentive as my buddy is to his kid.
Yeah.
Where that kid just falls in the, you can do whatever you want. And then he's a John Jones, or he's this, or he's that, you know, this kid, dude, I was showing this kid how to like do like a single leg takedown and like my buddy's lawn. And this kid, the way he grabbed me to like not fall down, it felt like he was 27 years old. He's like 9. Like he's got like man hands, and you're like, fuck, you know, it's bad news. But like guys like that too, that are just like Pat Tillman or whatever the guy's name was, the guy that died. You know, like they got that hero gene where they're just like, that's just it. Like,
I don't know if you know, I'm pretty patriotic. I never served in the military, and I'm pretty positive if I'm Pat Tillman and I have, you know, I signed a $15 million contract, I'm not sure I'm fucking leaving that to go over and run through the hills of fucking Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not wound that way, man. I'm just not. And thank God for fucking heroes, right?
Yeah.
Thank God for people who, you know, would I be somebody that would, like, if something was going on, like a burning building or something, and, you know, was a family trapped, would maybe I go back in there? I would do my best to help.
I know that I wouldn't be able to say I'm not going to think of, like, I know in my heart that I wouldn't bitch out and just go.
Right. I'm not just fucking driving away.
But am I going to douse myself in fucking Vaseline or fucking, you know, pour water on myself and get a blanket and fucking run through the fire? I don't know that either, you know.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I would. I don't know if.
But there are a lot of people that there's really special people that do, and
yeah, dude.
You know, and
the other thing about, like, I'm one of them.
The other thing about like fate and shit like that too is like you have to also be open to it, because that shit happens all the time. Like I think, I was hanging out with one of my friends, and he's just like, I don't understand how you know so much shit, and I don't like read more than other people, or I don't like study or anything like that. But like, I really do think like I'm open to information, and I think you have to be open to like fate and occurrence like that too, because like you could be in a great place in your life, great job, security, maybe even a great relationship. And if you don't want to just, if you're not open to the next possible occurrence and you don't take it, your life is still going to be okay. You're still going to go do the things because you're a good person and you do good things and whatever, but you could have been so much more had you just been open to the occurrence. But a lot of times people are just conditioned to go, I'm on a good path. I'm going to put the horse blinders on and that's it.
Right.
You know?
Right. But don't lead me astray. Don't lead me off the path.
Yeah.
You know, I get up every morning, my kids, my family, everybody's safe. I live in a house. I go to work, you know, and I'll do it again tomorrow. Blah, 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 blah. You know, they miss that. They miss that, like, that one person standing over here with the sign that says, you know, hiring fat bald guys, and every day I drive by them and miss them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
You know,
you got to be open to it, and you got to be open to the information. Yeah.
Right.
You know, when have you met like I don't want to sound like weird, but like, have you ever met like someone that's kind of witchy? Like just like you're like, this person's like worldly. Like they understand the way that the stars move.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, she can tell you her own stuff, but I live with one. My wife she does Reiki. She does all kinds of like, light and energy and, you know, the moon, the star. She does all that. And like, she'll tell me something and I'm like, okay. And then she'll be like, listen, you're kind of coming into this the way that like this moon, you know, she gives it all to me and I'm like, okay. And then I read it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally me.
Yeah.
Or that's totally what's going on in my life. Right.
Yeah.
It's not,
yeah.
So,
Man. There's a lady around here. You know, I have like shoulder and back problems, and not even just like the put out shoulder, but like just like routinely I'll just be like fucked in my back. So in North Carolina, I've had a good masseuse. Her name is Ginger. She's amazing. And then moving out here, you get to there's not that many good people. The one Tanya bought me one after we moved into the house, and it was like a dude, and he had like coffee breath, and like he'd be like pushing on like a knot, and he'd be like, and you know, all you smell is like his shitty like Maxwell Health breath, and you're like, this is the worst experience of my fucking life.
shit, dude.
Yeah, but I was like so hard for it. But then by some accident we meet this other lady, and she had her husband build her like this deck that faces out towards the woods. So it's like if you go you walk into the deck, but if you were to go like to the end of the deck, it'd be like a 15-foot drop down, you know? So it's like on the edge of a ravine basically. And then they put up this like military type tent with a wood stove in it. And you go get a massage in there. And the back of this tent is open to the woods. And so when it's raining, you can hear every fucking raindrop hit the canopy.
That's cool, man. I like that shit.
Yeah, dude. And it is like when you meet this lady, and there's two people, they live almost close to each other. When you meet these people, you're just like, oh, they understand energy. You know, they get all of it. Those are the sponges, you know. And if you could have a quarter of that, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But then you meet people that have no ability to read the room at all.
Thank you.
You know, and we've all been there, but you know, it's kind of crazy when, you know, you're around like one of your friends, or like you're hearing somebody tell a story and you're like, this guy has no idea that he's pissed all these people off and he still hasn't landed his plane yet. You know? Right. And I've been there, you know. But.
Right. Absolutely. I've been there. You know, I mean, I've crushed a lot of fucking nonsense in my day, and
you got to pick your shots, you know. Sometimes you just got to roll with it.
Fuck. And you got to accept it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but next topic. Oh, we don't have any.
Yeah. I had Twitter blue. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, the Portnoy thing's kind of weird, man. I just hope it all. I mean, here's the thing with all this shit too. There's no criminal charges.
No.
Because that'd be easy, right?
Watch that video that he just
I will.
Watch that, because he talks about that exact stuff. He talks about there's no, and he even brings up like the because the girl said in the, you know, the Business Insider that the there was a police report and this and the police.
Yeah, and there's none.
People, there's none, man. It just, if it happened, then he needs to go to fucking jail. Bill Cosby asked, like, that whole Bill Cosby thing is like makes me feel gross, right? I mean, this guy literally sexually assaulted, raped 70, 80, 90, 100 women, and he's out of jail on a technicality. That makes me feel gross.
That's gross.
But if this dude's just getting beat up because he's somebody, then that also makes me feel gross.
Well, when in the history of the world has a single white guy gotten exponentially great marks on like having sex with people? It's never gonna happen. Like, I've been single. I'm pretty white. I'm saying 4% of the time the lady had a good time. The other 96% of the time, I said I'm sorry, and I'll make you breakfast. I mean, that's just good behavior. That's just a good guy. So this guy's super famous. He's super rich, and he's just getting dragged through the coals. And I think honestly, and this kind of sucks too. Like, I know some people that have had issues with, I remember I was hanging out with this one girl, and then she just looked, and then she's like saw this, her whole demeanor changed, and I was like, "What's going on?" She's like, "That guy over there, he 2 years ago he raped me." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Allowed to be here?" Well, I didn't say anything. Okay. Because a lot of times, as a fucking dumb idiot guy, you just hear this shit and you're like, here, I'll kind of backtrack a little bit. I was hanging out with a girl, and she we were sitting eating some dinner before we went on a trip, and she like looked around and she sees her whole demeanor changed. I was like, "What's up? Are you okay?" I thought she was gonna break up with me. We just started dating. And she's like, "No, that guy over there." And she kind of pointed, and the guy was kind of behind me a little bit. It's like, "Oh, he raped me." I was like, and in my head, I'm like, "Well, if he raped you, he's in jail." I'm like, "Well, how was he here then?" Well, I never said anything. I was like, "Well, should I go talk to him?" "No, don't do anything." I'm like, "Really?" Like, so we end up like leaving because it was weird, but like in my heart, I'm like, I should just go knock all that guy's teeth out. Even if he doesn't know why. But I saw the way her face changed when she looked at the guy. And like, as a guy that's in love with somebody or almost in love with somebody, man, to see like that fucking beautiful energy just get zapped because this one guy walked in a room. She wasn't lying. She was not lying at all. And to this day, I mean, if I ever see that guy, whew, and I haven't talked to that girl in years, but I will fucking knock all his teeth out without question. I don't care if he's like holding Pampers and looking at like the weight on the back of the Pampers thing. I'm going to grab him by his shirt and knock all his fucking teeth out. That's just the way it is.
It's a weird situation when, that goes down, right? And especially with somebody that you like love or care about.
Yeah.
So, and you have to, almost have to like tread very lightly because, you want to like vindicate, right? You want to like make it, you want to make it okay for whoever. So tell me what I need to do to make it okay for you. But
you almost like mansplain your way into a fight for no
right.
And to her credit, she's like, that's not going to fix what happened. It's just going to make today terrible.
And she's absolutely right. But
because women are smarter than us.
So on the back end, you also want to be like, I'll do this, but what's it gonna be for you? Is that gonna be okay for you? Because I want to, like, I love you. I want to be good for you, but I also want to, like, you know, eradicate this whole issue, this whole situation.
Yeah, and you know, I've never seen, like, it's gonna sound weird, but I've never seen like actual pain like that on anybody. You know, I've seen people have a bad day. I've seen people, you know, at funerals about their grandma and shit like that. But like, this is like, we were joking, laughing, we're excited, and then all of a sudden, it's like someone just ripped her entire spirit out, and like that. Over, yeah. And you're like, fuck, man. Like, so it's not like we're two idiots like juxtaposing on whether like this guy's getting treated wrongfully. Like, if Portnoy is guilty of anything, then we hope he gets everything he fucking deserves and more.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Because I'm not justifying him. I'm not.
No.
But I'm also not. I'm not going to vilify the dude if, you know, I mean, try watch that video he posted yesterday and you will make your own decision. But he has laid it all on the line like this. And then they've come out today and said, like, we didn't mean for this to do that. And
they're
like,
backtracking. Yeah.
Absolutely backtracking. Yeah. So,
and they should.
I mean,
when I was in North Carolina, I was newly single. This is like right around the Lunesta moment. And we went to this concert, and I met this girl. She was an Asian girl. She's beautiful. She's fun. And she was like, yeah, I used to do girl porn. I'm like, fuck, I got to call my dad. So I call my dad and with this girl on the phone. And I'm like, he's like, it is like fucking 11 at night. What the fuck are you calling me for? I'm like, I'm like literally making out with a porn star right now. He's like, all right, cool. Awesome. Great. Okay. I'm going to go to bed, you know? So we end up like, I never asked if she was married. I never asked if she had a boyfriend. I just figured she's there by herself or
making out with me and
making out with me. So we start like, we exchange, you know, numbers and shit, and we're like MySpace and shit. And, you know, she ends up coming up. Yeah. Back in the day. She ends up coming up, yeah, cause I think she lived in, and I didn't know this at the time, but if you're a girl and you live in Fayetteville, North Carolina, you're married. I didn't know this.
Oh.
I didn't know it. Oh. Because like 99% of the men out there are soldiers. 90% of the women out there are married to soldiers. Like it is the way it is. I did not know this. So
what military base is in Fayetteville?
I think there's an Air Force base out there. I think Goose was out there for a little bit before we went to Top Gun. So no big deal. This little school called Top Gun. And he's like, hey, you know the number for truck school? Anyways, you haven't seen the movie. So we Fort Bragg. Thanks, Phil. We'll just do this. We can show it now on the screen. Show it. Brag. That's what I do about how I fly planes, bitch. And while Goose navigates, I brag about it. So she comes up and I proceed to give her the worst sexual experience of her life. Just to this day, I guarantee.
Finish quickly.
Oh yeah, just it was not good. I've been okay.
So you recognize it wasn't good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So in her head, it is 10 times worse than that.
Yeah, and she goes, no big deal. We'll just do it again a little bit. I'm like, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's not happening.
No,
shit ain't happening.
No, I'm gonna go sleep because I was like, I was on painkillers all the time and drunk. So so she gets out of bed and puts her clothes on. And she's like, my husband's a sniper, and the fucking like. She starts like going off about all this shit, you know. And all I did, in my opinion, in my humble like apology, I was too attracted to her. A second Asian. Wedding crashers. So, but she is like legit going off on me about like how she drove an hour and a half and now she's got to drive back. She drove an hour and a half for literally 2 minutes of terrible times.
Hey, you know, that's your fault, honey. You're married. Fucking beat it.
I didn't know. I had zero idea that she was married. You know,
Yeah.
so if in her head she's pissed off because she took time out of her day, she came up, she hung out, she had a bad experience. Now she's got to drive back. But in real life, she was cheating on a veteran that happened to be a sniper.
Not even
So every once in a while, if I
veteran.
ever see like a
Somebody
red
who's
dot on me, I'm like,
military.
yeah. He's overseas. He's fighting for our freedom. And then I'm the dirtbag too, because like, you know,
Well, you didn't know.
I didn't know.
I mean,
I did not know. But you know what? When that red dot shows up, I'm like, he found me. It only probably reaffirmed her like resolve to not cheat, because I am
hopefully.
Yeah. It was a sorry performance. And I've been bad, but that is like the worst bad I've ever been. Like the worst.
Yeah. Listen, dude, I got to get up early in the morning.
All right, we'll hang it up.
Can we wrap this one up?
Yeah. Hey, you did great.
Thanks, buddy.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks for the people. We have a Twitch person. Whoever's watching on Twitch. I love
Thank you, Twitch. Hey, Twitch. Hey, Twitch guy, tell your buddies about us.
Or don't. I don't give a fuck. Tell your buddies how.
Double it. Let's double it.
Yeah, let's get 2. Let's get 2 next week. Yeah, daddy.
2.
Yeah, we'll get out of here. Thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it.
No, dude, I really appreciate it. I really, really do, man. It was fun. I had a good time. I enjoy it, man. Now, and it's not so bad when I don't get super hammered. You know what I mean? So having a couple beers here and there, talking bullshit. Yeah. But
take some Adderall, whatever. I don't know. All right. We'll get out of here. Get some sleep. Thank you to all that tuned in. We had, I think, a record high on the last one. We had a bunch of people watching at one time. It was kind of crazy. Usually we get like stragglers, but
man,
we had a lot the last one.
I think, you know what, maybe next week I will not wear a shirt, because I think they tuned in for my tits. But am I allowed to wear my tits or no? Have my tits out or no?
I think you can't show a nipple on Twitch. Now, what's
even a man's nipple?
No, and you can't show man's feet either. But
really,
here's the deal: go get like a couple saucers, cover the nipples. I think if you're going to be a co-host, we should come up with a theme for you. Like, I'm thinking Flashdance next week. Like, I want the headband, I want the pink shirt, I want fucking knee highs.
What are those things called? They're called like a
leotard. I want you in a leotard.
Called like, what are they called? Like nipple, like tassels or something, right?
Yes.
Don't those...
Yeah.
Like,
Later, Phil.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right, my brother. Right, I love you. I'll talk to you. Thanks, Phil.
Keep fucking that chicken, guys.
Eat.